Mystery at T Blind Frog Ranch. A heavy wind bore dust across the dry plateau where Blind Frog Ranch stretched toward distant hills. All around lay cracked soil, the skeletal remains of mesquite shrubs, and ghosts of overgrown trails leading to forgotten ruins. The sky held the look of perpetual dusk, as if twilight reigned eternally above this land. The ranch, perched at the edge of cliffs and canyons, had long been speaking to explorers in strange symbols. Petrified footprints, fossilized bones turned dark by an ancient conflagration, and subterranean grottos hidden behind sheer stone. The mouth of one cave, jagged and yawning, had been sealed by rockfall ages ago. A fissure above it wept trickles of water during rare rains. Vegetation, stubborn and sparse, crept over the collapsed entrance. Locals whispered the cave housed something extraordinary beneath, something that pulsed with the Earth's own secret heart. Discovery crews arrived, drawn by rumors of artifacts, fossils, perhaps even signs of life that defied known biology. Survey drones skimmed the high desert air. Geologists scoured rock strata. Paleontologists on their hands and knees removed sand in shallow digs. Seismographs registered tremors of subterranean movement. A sense of urgency crept in. Seismic activity beneath the cave had increased over weeks, pushing up small rock debris, rattling outcrops. The fissure above widened. Subterranean gas emissions smelled of sulfur and decay. Decision came at twilight. The cave mouth, buried under tons of rock, could no longer contain what stirred beneath. Blasting was the only way. Teams assembled heavy charges, plastic explosives weighed, wired, buried under the collapsed boulders. Detonation controls were rigged to remote towers. Every safety protocol observed. Evacuation perimeters drawn around Blind Frog Ranch. The land stretched raw and silent, everything waiting. Moment before detonation, wind stilled. The plateau held its breath. Distant coyotes ceased their mournful howls. Even the scrub brush bent no more. Then the explosion. Thunder ripped through rock. A shockwave flung dust higher than the ravines. Seals of stone burst open. Chunks of limestone catapulted. The cave mouth reopening in a plume of debris, echoes scattering across canyons. When clouds of dust settled, a new gash appeared in the cliff face. Wide, irregular, raw. The cave, once sealed, yawned black. Through darkness, the rhythm of dripping water, the low hum of airflow, and breathing spaces deep within were revealed. Drones entered, their lights carving arcs across walls draped in mineral sheen. Stalactites tinged with iron red and manganese black dipped from ceiling. On the floor, slick stones glowed faintly where bioluminescent fungus spread like a web. Geologists marked layers in the reopened strata. Fossils, long believed unreachable, emerged. Skull fragments of creatures unknown, teeth curved like sickles, shells encased in rock yet soft to touch once cleavable. The smell of damp earth hit heavy. Moisture pooled where cracks allowed groundwater to seep. An ancient river, choked over centuries, became visible. A channel carved deep, bed strewn with bone shards, with shapes reminiscent of amphibians perhaps, or lizards. The name Blind Frog Ranch grew strange resonance. Something amphibious perhaps had slumbered below, blind creatures adapted to utter absence of light. Their remains fossilized, their traces in bone and cave wall. Conservationists stared at walls painted with ochre stains. Patterns, hand-sized impressions, winged shapes, claw marks. Possibly predator arrival or some unknown ritual. Paleobiologists scratched their heads. Age estimates varied. Tens of thousands, maybe more. Fast readings rose. Methane pockets vented. Hydrogen sulfide trickled in subtle odor. Air quality monitors flickered warnings. A subterranean chamber, once pressurized and sealed, now released trapped air. Pressure differentials caused dripping, collapse risk. Rock formations close to ceiling jittered with instability. Safety teams barred passage beyond certain zones. Meanwhile, deeper still, a glow beckoned. Unnatural phosphorescence from pools in the cave depths. Edges slick with slime. Samples taken. Bacteria never catalogued. Algae with pigments unseen. Fluorescent pathways across stones. Perhaps geothermal intrusions heated subterranean water. Perhaps fungal mats fed by decaying organisms. The cave's biochemistry seemed alien. Mapping technology traced a network of tunnels. Some narrow, others opening to vast chambers. One central cavern held a lake so still its surface mirrored stalagmites, walls, lights. No wind disturbed it. No sound but dripping far above. Water cold. Tests revealing mineral content heavy in sulfur, arsenic, silica. An underwater ridge glowed under LED divers' lamps. Skeletons of strange fish with no eyes, all pigment drained, albino bone structure. Lightless life. Blind frogs among them, perhaps. Blind Frog Ranch, named long before this cave, perhaps owed its name to folklore of subterranean amphibians. No one alive had seen them with eyes open. In one chamber, traces of movement. Slick trails across rock, small claws scraping limestone. Scattered droppings and remnants of insect exoskeletons suggested ecosystem, however minimal. Everywhere in the cave, mystery writ large. Geological history etched in layers. Periods of flooding, periods of volcanic ash drifts, tectonic uplift flattening vaults, fossilization. Radiocarbon dating of organic matter placed some remains at 20,000 years, some far older. The fossil flora had no close modern analogues. Fungus DNA signaled ancient lineages. Geological strain patterns indicated this cave system part of a shifting fault that once roared with magma, centuries ago cooled, sealed, then reopened by erosion and collapse. Outside, the ranch felt enchanted. Dust-stained windows. The sky glowed at dawn with red smudges. Storms, rare though they were, hit with force as if awakened by underground roars. Chains of thunder cracked open canyons. Rain washed off stone into the reopened cave, cascading in torrents to flush sediments, shift bones. The cave mouth bled water in swirling rivulets. Danger loomed. Aftershocks threatened rockfalls. Toxic gas pockets required masks. Unstable ceilings needed bracing. No clear path safe. Risks offset by the magnitude of what lay uncovered. Discovery teams catalogued drawings on cave walls. Symbols etched into stone confused. Bird-like wings, spiral sunbursts, frog forms with exaggerated limbs. Could these have been ancient art, ritual, records of species, or purely symbolic? The central chamber with the subterranean lake held the greatest treasure. Upon its black mirror surface, fossilized amphibian skeletons, some nearly intact, lay. Limbs splayed, jaws open in eternal silence. Their skulls bore grooves, ridges, perhaps sensory adaptations for life in darkness. Tiny eyes or rudimentary ossicles suggested blind or near blind. Limbs webbed. Teeth small, hooked. Their species extinct or existing in secret recesses still. Laboratory tests. Bone collagen-yielding peptides unlike any catalogued. Mineralization patterns unique. Fossil shells of snails with spiral shapes known only from prehistoric deposits thought lost to time. Plants preserved by mineral crusts, spores viable, some germinated in lab under simulated cave conditions. Fungus samples glowing greenish-blue under ultraviolet. Microbes capable of metabolizing sulfur, iron oxides. Some producing methane even without organic input. Blind Frog Ranch, once remote curiosity, now center of scientific revelation. Geological record, biological oddity, paleontological wonder all in one. The blowing up of the cave mouth, risky and controversial, revealed layers of time. Prehistoric men, beasts, fungi, rivers, tectonic pulses. Every rock loosed invited questions. Without words spoken, artifacts spoke. Bones whispered of evolution in darkness. Walls etched with symbols spoke of consciousness, perhaps myth or observation. Water dripped messages in sediment. Fossils told stories of adaptation, extinction. Scientists recorded, photographed, sampled, but understanding remained partial. What created the symbols? What nurtured blind frogs in darkness over millennia? Did descendants yet survive beyond the cave's farthest chambers? Was the subterranean lake sustained by unseen springs? Did microbial life down there hold keys to biochemical pathways unknown? When storms passed, wind again held the plateau quiet. Light filtered into the new cave mouth. A sunbeam touched stalagmites, throwing shadows into the depths. Outside, the ranch animals stood at the cliff edge, gazing at the open maw in stone. The land around shifted. Rock debris, fresh scars, new erosion paths. The plateau now bore witness to both destruction and revelation. No speech declared certainty. No voice claimed final theory. Discovery resorted to evidence, to careful mapping, to layered analysis. Tools measured, samples preserved, tunnels reinforced. The cave, once mute, now offered clues. It yielded new species, new timelines, new puzzles. But its secrets remained remote, stored in shadows, waiting. Night came. The cave mouth a black hole against starlight. A breeze exhaled from deep within, cool, damp, carrying the musk of something ancient. Fungi glowed faintly. Pools reflected constellations. Somewhere down tunnels unseen, bones lay in ordered decay. Microbial life pulsed in rhythm with Earth's slow heart. And the ranch, perched high, felt the quiet power of something old, something vast. The blowing up of the mouth of the cave had done more than open rock. It unleashed the past. It forced daylight into darkness. It demanded respect for forces older than human reckoning. In the silence that followed, discovery lingered, not in declaration but in wonder.